Copy this right onto the homework so you have it. And you can use it, that way you don't have to do a bunch of erasing on all the shading. Also remember, if you divide by a negative, you must switch the sign, so a greater than would switch to a less than, and vice versa. Greater than equal to would switch to a less than equal to, and vice versa. So both are important. So again, what is the slope for number 1? We did this on the warm-up. So there's no number here, right? So it's automatically a 1 and over 1. So let's start at -2, go up 1, over 1. You can also reverse it and go down and left. Is this a solid or a dashed line, according to the chart? Solid. Use a straight edge. And is it shaded up or down? Down. Less than is down. So only do a shading that's something that's easy to erase. So just kind of something a little bit like that is fine. You don't have to do all of it in perfectly and then find out, oh, I should have shaded the other side. And that's a lot of erasing to redo. Okay, go ahead and let's do number 2. Now I'll let you guys try the rest on the front. So we're starting at 3. Right. What's the run?
8 over 1.
Okay. Now this means up 8, right 1, which can't do. So we have to reverse it. Instead of going up and to the right, go down and left. So remember, reverse top and bottom. So we're still going to have a line that's positive and going upwards. So let's go down 8. So from 3 minus 8 will be -5, and then over 1. Is it solid or dashed? Still solid. Got a line underneath. Use your straight edge. And is it going up, shaded up, or shaded down? Up. So go any point on the line and go straight up for a while. And that's the side that you're shading on. So if I start here and I just go up, 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 I know, okay, this is the side I should be shading. So in almost all cases, you're shading up or down. It kind of looks like we're shading to the left of the line, but technically it's greater than the y-axis, the y variable, which is up and down, right? So that's why it's all the numbers greater than or above. So like right here, we started on 3, 4 is above 3, 5 is greater than 3. This is the side that's all greater than or bigger than. All right, so go ahead and do 3, 4, 5, and 6. And remember, if you divide by a negative, you do have to switch the shading side. Okay? Go ahead and work on that now and check with people around you. We'll be walking around to help too. Okay, go down to number 6. Let's take a look at that together. So there's something I can spot because I've been doing these a while. Anytime, look up here. Look up, right here. Okay, so anytime there's a negative in front of the y, right, that's a hint that as you're solving this, you're going to have to divide by that negative as you're going through it. And when you divide by a negative, as I showed on the chart there, this is the same as -1, so I have to divide by -1 everywhere, and that does a lot of changing of signs. Negative over negative is positive. -7 over -1 is positive. 7 over 1, both positives. Positive 3 divided by negative 3 is negative 3. But the one that sometimes eludes us is that it's only for inequalities, is that you have to switch the shading. Switch the inequality sign too. So that's that one thing we really have to watch out for. It doesn't happen very often. That's why it's easy to forget about. But usually these make really good multiple choice questions because there'll be one that has the correct answer and one that has the answer if you didn't flip the shading. Start at negative 3, go up 7 over 1. It's a dashed line. There's no equal to. Don't forget about that. Dashed line. Still put the arrows at the end. And then lastly, it's going to be a greater than, so it's shaded up. So you go, here's negative 3. What's above negative 3? Negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. All these are above or greater than. So be careful not to shade the wrong side there. And you can kind of spot this from the beginning. So if there's a negative in the front of the y, the coefficient of y, if it's negative, you can tell, okay, I'll have to flip the sign. So if you flip it over the back, you can tell, okay, 7, that's positive, don't have to flip it. 8, that's positive, you don't have to flip it. Go down a little ways, 9 and 10, those are okay. But then when you get to 11 and 12, you can see 11, that has a negative y coefficient. We'll end up flipping this to a greater than or equal to. Same thing on number 12, we have a negative 2 for a coefficient of y. So that's going to turn into a less than or equal to. So you can see that coming before you even start. And you can also figure it out if it's a dashed line as well or a solid line. That's a little bit more straightforward. So keep that in mind for all of these. You can tell ahead of time if it's going to flip or not just by seeing if you have a negative. So use this chart. Anytime you divide by a negative, you're going to switch the sign. And then, of course, this for all the shading up and shading down. Okay, so go ahead and work on that. We still have about, 15 minutes, so we should be able to get most, if not all of them done.